Welcome to my second home within my home, also known as my garage gym. The reason for this video is to give you guys a little bit of a knowledge where all of my money went from video games and why I actually quit, and why I have so much more motivation to work out and live a better life as well. We're gonna start with just going around the room, showing you each piece of equipment, what I've got. So my garage dimensions are 13.6 inside to inside, and then front to back is 20 feet. So I'm actually in a one-car garage. I would consider it more of an oversized, so the wing walls are 2 foot on one side and 18 inches on the other. So this is kind of a wider, so it allows me to have storage on the outside of which I'll show in the video here with what I've done for storage and just give you guys an overall tour. So let's get into it. Let's see what this looks like. So first up is the Concept 2 rower. So this will run you $990 without tax and shipping, so probably looking at $1,100. This has been one of the most staples in any CrossFit garage gym, I would say, is just having a rower pretty easily to work out in. And this I've only had for a year. Most of the stuff in the garage will be about a year, or it'll actually be probably 5 years old, depending on what the equipment is. So I'll detail that every single equipment just so you guys can see that. This is the Concept 2 rower. If you know CrossFit, you pretty much know this machine and you know how much pain and suffering you're gonna have. Just giving you guys some more info there. So what you're looking at now, a little bit interesting. This garage, when I first had it, was actually an unfinished space. We insulated and sheetrocked the whole garage, would cost some money, but we did it ourselves, so we saved ourselves some money there. But if you look up in the ceiling here, there's a box, and there's a reason for that. We have the pull-ups, so you can still do muscle-ups on the bar there. And then also you got wall balls, so you still can get into a 9 foot and 10 foot target. So it works out pretty good. So I do not recommend this for anyone who has living space above their garage, but I just have roof trusses above my garage. So I'm able to do this because I don't require it by code to have it insulated. So next piece of equipment that we're kind of gonna talk about, saw the open ceiling, but this rope is attached to one of the trusses that are exposed. I don't recommend it 100%, but it's not going to be the end of the world. Since I'm so close to the bearing, it's not going to matter. A frame of reference there. If you're going to do something like this, I would recommend putting it towards a joint on the truss. That's just a little bit better connection instead of having so much deflection. So when you do ring muscle ups, I would say put it more close to a joint on the truss if you can see the trusses. That's just a tip there as well. The next thing is the Rogue pull-up bar. This is gonna run 160 bucks. I've only had this for a year, but I really do like having the wall mounted, so it's always there. I don't have to take it in and out or unfold it like I have on the other side, which I'll show a little bit later here as well. But for the money, it's well worth it. You have cheaper options out of Titan, but I went with Rogue just because Rogue is pretty well known and it's good quality stuff. It runs you 160 bucks. Not end of the world, but it's a really good thing to have if you're looking to start out as well. The next thing is the Death Machine, also known as an assault bike or echo bike, whatever you guys are choosing. This with the rower has been probably one of the best options that I've had. I've had this one for 6 years. I've had it for a while. I think it's been probably one of the best tools. I've always been doing that in my programming, so I would say if I'm gonna do something, it's gonna buy the assault bike and the rower or echo bike, whatever you guys are choosing. I actually recommend buying an echo bike for a garage gym just because of less of maintenance. These assault bikes tend to break down a little bit more, so I would go towards more of a Rogue Echo if you're looking for something with less maintenance. The cost is pretty comparable. These run you $700 and Echo is gonna run you this price here, so it just gives you a little bit more options there. So next up is our SkiErg. Probably not one of the best options to have in a garage gym. I would say if you're gonna get the two biggest machines that I would probably get is an assault bike and a Concept 2 before I actually buy the SkiErg. SkiErg was one of the first things that I bought, and I probably regret buying this first, and I don't use it as often as I use the assault bike and the echo bike, and also another equipment that I'm going to show later that I use a lot more now than I use this thing. This is going to run you a little bit over, it's about $777, so a little bit more expensive than an assault bike or an echo bike and less expensive than a rower, but I've had this for 6 years. That's just another tip there. And then we've got the barbells. I've got a Pendlay event bar. It's an HD bar. It was just a cheaper bar that I bought from them when they were running events. It's just got some sort of defect in it as well, so they just sell them for cheaper. And then I've had this one for 6 years, and then I've also got the Rogue Ohio bar that I just recently bought, stainless steel. So this won't corrode as much as the Pendlay does, which it already does show some corrosion. Between the two bars, I don't have a preference, but I do like having the stainless steel and a little bit more aggressive knurling on some of my stuff. Prefer to use the Ohio bar, but when I'm squatting, I go to the Pendlay since it's a little bit cheaper and I don't have to care about wearing it down as much. And they're hung by the Rogue wall mount attachment, so that's just another option there. You can either do horizontal, but vertical I like better because it doesn't take up so much storage. We're gonna move on to the next section. So we got the junk corner, but also with all my main stuff. Don't have enough room for all these plates, so I have an extra set of Rogue bumper plates. Not the cheapest, but they get the job done and they're very good quality. I'll show the price here just so you guys see with all the sets, and also be in the description with all the pricing for all this stuff. I recently got these bumper plates last year. What we're looking at here is my weights. So I do have my change plates over here. I got my 2.5s, my 5 pounds. I've had most of these for about 6 years. Some of these were just added recently due to having to squat more often in the garage. So I didn't have enough weight to do that, so I had to buy some extra 45s. So what we've got here is a 45s, two 45s here, and then a two 25s here. Another set of 45s, set of 10s that are stacked in between here. And then we got the 55 competition plates and 15 and 10 over here. This all sits on the horizontal weight rack from Rogue. Probably wouldn't do this. I would probably build something to put it on if I'm going to do it again, just because it's not worth the money probably paying for a horizontal rack like this. That's just another option there. And the reason I went with the competition is my parents had bought it for me, but it's nice to have the thinner plates for squatting. So if you're going high weights, then I would recommend doing something like that, or getting the thinner plate from Rogue, their Echo plate. It'll actually help you, like if you're doing cleans on heavy weight, then you're not worrying about how much space that you have on your barbell if you're lifting heavy or squatting heavy. Then you don't have to worry about if you're gonna have enough room on your barbell to squat enough. And then we got our dumbbells here. And then we also got the fitness bench incline. Bought it for $179 from Dick's Sporting Goods. Quality, it's whatever, non-American made, but it's cheap, gets the job done. Don't really care past that point. Got that last year. And then we've got all our bands, our monster bands from Rogue there as well. And then this is the pull-up attachment for the foldable rack. Then you can still do pull-ups. If someone's over, you can still do pull-up there too. So next up on the rack too, I've got the kettlebells. I've got two 24 kilo kettlebells. I got my 50-pound dumbbells, set of those, set of 35 dumbbells. I got my 70s, and then I like to have the 100s just to test a little bit more. I'm probably gonna look into getting a little bit more weight with that too. So next up, we've got the safety Rogue safety bars. So these will attach to the wall mount rack. Big honking thing, but it saves me from having a spotter. So if I'm doing a bench or if I'm doing some squatting, I don't have to be forced to drop the weight. Yeah, it can kind of get beat up on the barbells, but it's kind of nice on benching to not have to worry about that at all. Next up, I've got a 14-pound wall ball for the girlfriend. Then I've got a 20-pound Titan med ball for wall balls. And then I got my 30-pound. Went cheap on all this. Everything's held up just fine. 14 doesn't get used a whole lot, but the 20 and the 30 get used a lot. And I've had the 30 for 6 years. Works just fine. And then we've got the Titan Fitness silencer pads. For the money, worth it, 100%. And they're all stored on a Gladiator rack. I'll put this one in the description as well too. This one runs me 160 bucks. The depth is 18 inches, and if I'm correct, it's only 4 feet wide. If you have the space, I would go wider, 6 feet. Then you can get some more stuff on there, but the Gladiator rack works just fine. Don't need to attach anything to it. It'll do the job perfectly. So next up, we got the Rogue Abraham 2.0. Recently got this one this year. Probably one of the best tools I've gotten actually recently, because it's a deficiency for me and I needed to get it, and luckily it still fits. Can't see the duct tape on the line, but I use this for my tire marking to know that I can still get the truck in. But this one was $700 without shipping. A little bit more expensive, and for the space, I would say if you're not a competitive athlete, then I wouldn't get this, but if you're competitive, I would say go right for it. It's such a good tool for glute ham raises, GHD sit-ups, gives you a lot more options. So I would give that a shot as well. If you're looking for something to buy that you already have all the other stuff, this is the next option, and you have the space. Just make sure you have the space before you actually buy something, measure it out. Next up, we have a Gym Next timer. Pretty easy. Uses an app on the phone, so you're easy to connect your phone to that to control it. 100% love it. Would do that one again. It's just really easy not having a remote for that, instead using your phone. We have the tunes. Gotta have those going at some point as well. I went with Philips, went with a little bit more expensive stereo just because I wanted some good quality music in here when I'm doing a more intense workout. If I'm not doing an intense workout, or if I'm doing a morning workout, I won't play the stereo. I'll use my ESC headphones, which I did a review on that, and here's the video here right now if you want to check that out as well. So that's that corner. And then we've got the latest item that I recently bought as well. And you can see, next up, we got the big honking thing. One of the nice things to have is this foldable rack, because I can still park my truck in the garage. This ran me about $550. I'll confirm that here. But it's been very nice to have, as it can just fold right out. And you're still able to squat. It doesn't take terribly long to set it up, but I like having that option of having an extra pull-up bar if I want to put the attachment on. And then I also got the squat rack, and it's very strong when you get it all done. So what I've got here is I just got some 2x12 stringers. They do have the option where you can buy some stringers as well. So if that's another option that you want to go, you could do their stringers that they've made out of metal if you just don't want that big bulkiness. Two, got my poster, kind of got the Conor McGregor quote, kind of want to go where people don't want to go. And then here's the last couple pieces of equipment that I've got. This I've had, and also I've only had this for 6 years as well. And then the big thing that I bought this year is the Concept 2 Buckyrudesill. If I'm going to say it, this is probably one of the best options that I bought. And if you're just looking for an option similar to the Peloton, I would say this is your closest option, and it is nasty when you're doing it, but afterward, it's probably one of the best feelings that I'm not super sore. Yeah, I just got my heart rate up and I destroyed my legs, but I'm not like hurting. I can still go do another workout later that night. So a competitive CrossFitter, I would say, yeah, this one and the assault bike, I would go more towards this at competitive CrossFit athlete level, and then match that with the rower just because of what this can do for your leg fatigue. And then I've also got some sandbags over here that are kind of blocking. I've got the 100-pound sandbag and I've got the 150. Had those since last year. And then I've got a fan because it does get kind of hot. And then if you can see up in the corner here, since we are in the northern part of North America, that is a heater. So put in a 220 volt circuit into the wall. So now I'm able to run that and actually heat this up without using space heaters. Here's the video that I recommend you watch next. Here's the video that YouTube suggests you watch next. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you guys hit that like and hit that subscribe button as well. Keep watching for any more fitness related tips that come out in the next videos. Hope you enjoyed all of the equipment that I've gotten and are motivated to do some as well. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.